With a 5-minute gap to an 18-man breakaway, it's going to be pretty hard to pull back today. I'm Decathlon Gamer. This is PCM20, Career Mode episode 151. This is going to be the end of the Giro d'Italia. It's stage number 20. It's the last regular stage before we finish on a time trial. After finding ourselves down a little bit and then having an excellent start to the race and moving into the race lead, well, we've slipped to third place, and 2:20 behind is pretty rough in terms of time. We've seen godlike performances from our opponents on these last couple of climbing stages. We'll see what today brings. This, on paper, doesn't look too bad of a stage and should have a group finish. But with that Cat 1 final climb, you never know. You never know. It could absolutely split up. You can see the pace is already lifting here on this one, and the Peloton is beginning to shrink. Also, the gap to the front group has pulled out by another minute. But now with a little acceleration, we see a very sudden split in our Peloton, and it's down to 70, and that gap is beginning to come back down. Roughly halfway up the climb, and it's not going to be quite as bad from here to the finish as it's been so far. It's 23.4 kilometers in length, 5.5% average gradient. That's a long time to go uphill like that. Dang, I got this many riders going back. Millar got dropped. How did you get dropped, buddy? You can't climb at with a 78 mountain rating, you can't climb at that rate? Well, okie dokie then. Millar and Moreau on -3s. Really, this is a poor race day condition for the team. We reconnoitered this stage, and as a group, we should have had about a net +8, +9. We're definitely short of that. We ended up with a net +4. It's not awful, but it's certainly not good. And we need to get somebody on protecting. That's going to be David Killen. Go and protect Rodriguez. Millar's got to try to get back up there, especially right now where the pace is not too bad. And the intensity of the climb wasn't too bad through that sector either, so he was able to cover that off fairly well. And it looks like Millar will get back on here quite soon. And he is. Good. Okay, go ahead and kind of rest up a little bit. I'd really like you for the final climb. So Johnson's going to be okay. Johnson does not need protection right now. I'm hoping that Millar can just hang on. Things are going to ease off for a little bit. We actually have a little downhill here. Millar nearly gets dropped somehow, even though he's not blinking red or anything. He's right at the back of this group. He does get a little recovery on this descent. That is excellent. Excellent news. Pace picks up again. And he is hanging on to the back end, but things are really picking up here. I want 4 riders for this final bit. Yeah, he's okay. They've eased off. Gap's opening at the front very quickly. It's out to over 8 minutes. Millar makes it. Just. Or not. There we go. He's back on, and he's going to get the water for us on this descent. Come on, Millar. Get up there. Get up there. Come on, you're not going to recover like this. Millar is doing a really poor job on this descent of taking care of what he needs to take care of, as in hand a flippin' water bottle to his teammate. He's actually going backwards, not forwards. And this Peloton's getting smaller, so the pace on this descent is actually remained quite high. He did recover through that, just sitting on and going. There we go. Now he can protect, and now we can also up the tempo because the pace is heavy. All right, just 32 in the Peloton, and I've got 4. Three of them, anyway, are in pretty dang good shape. We're going to be in this lower valley for a little bit before we begin the final climb of the tour. We really, really cannot afford to lose even a single second today. So it's very important that we get to the top of this climb in one piece. Okay, Millar, you're going to use your gel immediately. Killen's going to use his shortly after. And who the heck just took off like a bat out of hell? Bernal and Trent to do. Not a threat. 11.5 minutes down. This is the kind of day that I should attack, but have you seen what these guys are like? No, we are not attacking. Okay, we're down to 31 riders, so there's definitely some pace here. Gel's already run its course for Millar and Killen, but they are keeping Johnson and Rodriguez fresh at the front. This group is going to start to shrink. Okay, here goes Millar. You're seeing Saseda trying to go for an attack, and we are also pulling back a bunch of riders. There's Bernal up the road. He's up there to maybe support an attack later on. This is the best time to make a move. Millar's gone out the back.
The Entente in the escape group is far from cordial. There are a couple of riders who want to go it alone.
6.6k. Killen's got nothing left. This is going to have to be a Johnson move. Ooh.
Counterattack by Romain Bardet.
I speed you up and you slow down. Frustrating how it does that, but it does that. It does that way too often in this game. Okay, 25 riders left. Race isn't over at the top of this climb, so you got to keep going after that. Go ahead and sit on, and then Johnson.
There are just 15 kilometers left.
Paulus, McNulty. Here we go. It's just 3K from the top.
Only a few riders are capable of following the very fast pace.
And that's a small group going clear.
Attempting to break away.
Carapaz in 5th. Trentadue being caught. Oh, Rodriguez. Wow. Look how strong those guys are. They're still continuing on. We were just following. Nothing more. We've caught Bernal. We've caught Saseda. And those three guys are just going to keep right on going. Rodriguez with 80 resistance. In less than a kilometer is being left in the dust behind these guys. As Paulus, Yermakov, and McNulty continue their attack. Thank you, Bernal. Pulls it back. All back together. 23 riders. Johnson here in the group again. Lucked out on that one. 900 meters from the top. There goes Paulus. And here comes the next wave of attacks. But this is not to the finishing line, it's just the top of the climb. Pogačar doing the chasing. Paulus and Yermakov on up ahead. Can't afford to lose anything to those two guys. Johnson got dropped. Trying to pull back. We are recovering right now very nicely. 10K to go to the finish. And it's back together. And the chase has gone out of this group as the front riders ride away once again. Johnson on the verge of coming back. Yermakov, another attack.
Again, an attack is launched. The group has to break apart.
And McNulty.
The riders are entering the last 5 kilometers of the stage.
I'm the third place rider. I've got to be the one chasing that back. Luckily, Martinez at the moment is. Now Barrow is. Now Higuita is. Luckily.
The finishing line is not far off as we're into the last descent.
6K. Okay. They're chasing. Bernal's doing the chasing. Fortunately, we bring back Yermakov, but McNulty is still up the road. Somehow.
There goes the sprint.
4K to go.
Are giving their all. A great victory.
We don't have enough except for the sprint. Mateo, Yates, Rubio, Landa, Zeta for the stage. Stage is done. 3K to go for us. 2.5K. Chasing hard. Somehow McNulty is superhuman. 1K to go. Rodriguez sprinting it out for the finish. We'll bring it back to beat McNulty, or just about. Paulus, McNulty, Rodriguez at the front. No time loss. Okay.
We're waiting for the tail enders.
It's gonna be desperate on stage 21. It's gonna be really hard to get the win, but it's possible. It is possible. Yermakov was 19th, so no time changes on stage 20. Final stage of the Giro, and Pavel Rodriguez is ready to set off. It's a huge task, but looking at the times, looking how it's gone so far, Denny Gins 3rd overall, David Killen 4th overall, half a minute down. But what he's capable of, I think we could see a time that's going to roughly be 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. You can see like Gazzoli, who had a +5, and Moreau, who's a good time trialist, better than the other guys, are a minute 50 down. So if Rodriguez can get up near the time, he's a +1, exactly what was expected today. 82 time trial. Prologue doesn't matter as we are at 30 kilometers. Resistance at 80. Evenepoel is the top time trialist. So if we can match his time, if we can get a 33 as we roll out of Monza here and onto the roads, if we can get up right about a 33:30, I think we can get 2 to 2.5 minutes. Yermakov right about 2 minutes ahead. McNulty 2:20. So it's possible. It is possible that it's not going to be easy. So we'll see how we're looking. We will pause briefly here at the checkpoint. I can see Rodriguez could probably push 76 the rest of the way as well. Ooh, he's not even on a great time right now, but that's 30 seconds down. Let's check in with Yermakov as he comes through. So we are 30 seconds back of the top time currently. He's only 36. We've only gained 6 seconds on Yermakov. What the heck? He's a 72 time trialist. And 45 to McNulty. Wow. Wow. We've got to just start motoring towards the end here. We are catching up on Palace, so that's a good sign. 5K to go. Onto the flat. 2.5K. I think 77's about what we can push towards the finish line. 1K to go and attack the final. Still only 5th. 33 seconds down. What? Not a very good run from Rodriguez. And Yermakov only loses a minute 21. We gain a minute on both. 3rd place overall. We pulled back a minute, and that's all we managed. Rodriguez, 5th place. Not a great day. I mean, 5 seconds better than David Killen. Killen's got a 75 time trial, and he only managed 5 seconds better than Killen. Comfortably on the podium, 1 spot better than a year ago, but not a triple crown in the Grand Tours this year. The hardest one was always going to be this one. A, because there was 20 guys who were monster climbers. B, because we came in this without a fitness peak, and it just was a tough challenge. And we were in the prime position. We had every opportunity to win this thing. And a couple times we followed an attack, but we never attacked them ourselves. We never did anything rash. We never did anything dangerous. We played it conservative, tried to protect. Didn't matter. They were just too flippin' good. We do get the under 25s jersey, of course. We do get a podium position. It's only one spot better than a year ago, and it was certainly more comfortable than a year ago, as we squeezed our way into fourth place just barely, and we were nowhere near the podium a year ago. This time, very close to getting a win, but a minute is a minute, and not enough. I'm shocked at the number of high quality racers that was at this race. We'll see if the tour, like last year, is a little bit lighter, which is one of the main reasons why we did claim the win there. And then for the Vuelta, we weren't even really at it last year, but it didn't have the top participants either. And again, with all those guys here, if we're lucky, many of them will not be at the other races. Yermakov loses by just 4 seconds, but the American Brandon McNulty wins this year's Giro d'Italia. Our next dossier target is Albano Pereira. Pereira is a 77 mountain, 79 time trial, 73 resistance, 75 recovery. He's on paper a time trialist, which generally don't charge quite as much. 76 on paper, but looking at him, he's absolutely a strong GC kind of guy. He's even got 74 acceleration, 71 downhill, 71 stamina. That's somebody I can work with. He's also 4.7 in the potential department. He's coming off a $4,000 contract and may not be terribly expensive. I mean, he's already Danny Ginn. Looking at him. So I think that could be a pretty solid pickup. Plus, the interest is already fairly high, so it shouldn't be that hard over the next 2 months to get him all the way up. For the Dauphiné, I brought a team of punchers to that one, as most of our top climbers are all just finishing up the Giro d'Italia. So on stage number 2, Wykankis claims victory. Now, had I played it out, no way that's going to happen, because you can see the profile at the end, sprint finish, group bunch sprint. Now, Wykankis, sure, maybe, but looking at that one, you almost guaranteed scenario of actual sprinters duking it out, because, well, it's a little bit punchy here and there, and it will drop some riders, but you'd figure there'd still be 60, 70, 80 riders left in the Peloton at the finish, and at least a handful of sprinters who were protected and made it there, with the domestiques being the ones dropped instead, or dropped to pull back sprinters. Anyway, with QuickSim, it sometimes has its advantages, and in this case it does. Vulcan Wykankis picks up the win, which is excellent for us because that was a sponsor objective. Not that we are actually in any sort of danger, but we got our stage win with Rodriguez, and we got our stage win at the Dauphiné with Wykankis, and now we are set up for, well, just 2 left. Tour de Suisse, Tour de France, stage win there, top 3 there. But regardless, it looks like we have now secured our 100% for the year, meaning we should be seeing about $165,000 per month for next season. That's a $35,000 increase. We do have some expiring contracts. We've got a good bit of money available to us. It's 70 or 80,000, something along those lines, of expiring money plus new money coming in. We could almost maybe do something in order to retain Pavel Rodriguez. In terms of those expiring contracts, we did look at that a little while back, but it's a lot of riders. There's 9 riders with expiring contracts, so that's a lot of money. Rodriguez is making at least a little bit. Yeah, 13. So, and Gazzoli's money, that's 35 right there between the two of them. 45 and a little over 10 more. So another 55. That's 80. So we're looking at 80 to 85,000 just through the quick math on that one, free for the re-signing. Wykankis is going to be a harder one to get. He's going to be looking for a massive pay increase, just 21 and a 78 overall. He wants money, but we're not going to get the max interest on him. Doing the math on that, he will miss out. He'll still be in the yellow, meaning he'll charge more. So he very well could be asking for the same money that Rodriguez is. And, well, Rodriguez is a little more effective and a little less replaceable than Wykankis is, as we do have other guys, not as good, but we have plenty of other punchers. We have plenty of other sprinters. He's just both, and he's really good and could be one of the greats in the sport. Certainly a wonder kid, but if he's gone, and at least if we can retain Rodriguez, we'll be in much better shape. Now that also does leave one other hole, though, because without Wykankis, we got a 79, a 78, and then we drop down to a couple 76s to choose from. Now, Rajkovic is already covered, so we do at least have that 76, so we're not desperate, but we would certainly want to get one of those better riders available. Even a 77 or another 78 would be huge if we can get that. But with the number of expiring contracts, we could have a crisis on our hands in terms of how many riders we're able to get. So, because there's no way we're going to re-sign 9, and we might find ourselves with a bit of a crisis in terms of putting riders on track next season if we end up spending all of our money on Rodriguez. So got to be careful of that as well. There's a chance that even if we can re-sign him, we might not actually really be capable of re-signing him because of how that'll make us cash strapped to sign anybody else. Of course, priority one is to stay on the World Tour. Okay, well, anyway, short episode today, but Giro's done. What do we do now? We do have the Dauphiné, but that's already taken care of, so we're good there. And then we have the Tour de Suisse coming up. So I think we might get a little bit of Tour de Suisse action, and then we have national championships before we then begin the Tour de France. So a little bit of action before we get going on that one, but excited for things still to come in this season. And we continue our pursuit of our first championship of the year in one of the Grand Tours, as we do come up short in the Giro. But it happens. We are still leading the World Tour rankings even after that, so I'll take it. I suppose. He's only 4th in the rankings. Yermakov, McNulty ahead of him. And honestly, on paper, they are better. So they are better climbers on paper than he is. So it happens. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.